What if Jesus were to appear to his disciples in this day and age and join them in a Zoom meeting? In the cartoon, all the disciples are there, but Jesus comes on without a camera turned on, but his name appears on the screen. Jesus says, "Hey." Simon then responds, "How on earth is he in the meeting?" Thomas then says, "Unless he turns on his camera, I will not believe." In the original story told by John, there were two parts of the story. Jesus appeared before the disciples in a locked room for the first time without Thomas. Jesus stood among them, and they were probably surprised, afraid, and bewildered. Jesus consoled them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he showed them his hands and sides to indicate that it was truly him. His appearance was meant to be more than a happy reunion. There was a higher purpose. He appeared before them to send them out on a mission. Something had to change as a result of Easter. Jesus would not have been happy if his disciples went back to their previous lives. Jesus encouraged and empowered them by saying, "Peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, so I send you." After that, he breathed on them and said to them, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive the sins of any, they are forgiven them. If you retain the sins of any, they are retained." There's a lot involved in here. Firstly, the disciples were to be sent out on a mission to spread the good news. Secondly, they were given the power of the Holy Spirit. Thirdly, they were given the authority to forgive sins. It would have been an incredibly empowering moment. Unfortunately, Thomas was not there among them. He missed out big time. He also could not believe that Jesus had appeared before them, especially in a locked room. Did Jesus think that all of the disciples were involved in pulling a prank on him? Yet there are certain things that must be seen to be believed. Unless he saw Jesus with his own eyes and touched his wounds, Thomas refused to believe that Jesus had indeed been resurrected. Unfortunately for Thomas, he became known as Doubting Thomas, as if he were a lesser disciple. Furthermore, having a bit of doubt in matters of faith have been frowned upon in some churches and in some circles. There are branches of Christianity that rely solely on faith alone. Some people would say that blind faith. Though most churches have closed during the lockdown, some churches have actually encouraged their members to show up for Easter Sunday worship by telling them that God will protect the faithful. One of the prominent pastors who preached this actually died from COVID-19. Some evangelical Christians deny climate change. Many are anti-vaxxers, meaning that they do not believe in vaccinations for themselves nor for their children, putting not only their lives in danger, but also others around them. They all seem to support President Trump as well. It is no wonder that millennials are not attracted to Christianity, and they have inherent distrust of institutions as well. When I was in theology school, one of our textbooks was called Faith Seeking Understanding. This is what we strive for in our faith, for understanding that makes sense to us. Likewise, Thomas was also seeking understanding in light of his new reality. We continually need to seek understanding of our faith in the age of Hubble telescope's view of the universe, COVID-19 pandemic, incredible scientific breakthroughs, advanced medicine, and the Earth's history with dinosaurs, As we learn more and more about our world and the universe, our faith continues to seek understanding in new and profound ways. Essentially, our faith is a living faith that continually grows and evolves. Ultimately, Jesus did show up again and appeared before Thomas, and he began to believe. Obviously, Jesus could only appear to a chosen few. What the Gospel of John is trying to say is that the rest of us will have to believe that Jesus had resurrected even though we cannot see Jesus nor touch his wounds. Then, how are we to believe? We can believe in the testimony of the disciples and the gospel writers. I believe also because of the transformed lives. After the crucifixion, the disciples all ran away in fear and hid themselves in locked rooms. Yet after Jesus had appeared before them, they took their message on the road with a sense of mission. They were no longer afraid. They were even willing to die for their beliefs. They were willing to do things in the name of God, such as healing and speaking with a sense of authority. Could they have done all that for a lie? I do not think so. They took Jesus' message to heart as they went out with the power of the Holy Spirit and with the power to forgive. As for Thomas, he really ventured far, as it is believed that he traveled all the way to India to spread the good news there. God also sends us out with the power of the Holy Spirit to proclaim the good news with our words and with our actions. We do so with all the joy in our hearts. Thanks be to God.